Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit, and we are going to talk conference playoff weekend. We got the AFC and NFC championship game here already.
Yeah, this season hasn't felt long at all. Like it really doesn't feel like the season started all that time ago. It feels like still quite a new season to me this year. It's going to be we've only got two more real games to go. Obviously, three more real games to go. Sorry, the Pro Bowl's in the middle of this, but I don't think anybody's calling that.
I'm excited for the Pro Bowl this year, though. It's the skills challenge. It's a flag football game. They got away from the regular Pro Bowl game, and they're giving out real money to these guys, so they'll actually try.
Yeah, I love the skills game element of the Pro Bowl. I think it's so much fun for the guys who are involved. I think it's really fun for the guys who are involved, which makes them want to try harder. And fuck it, if they're getting paid, then that's great. Obviously, the actual
they're
game
getting
itself,
like real bonuses for winning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, still the actual game itself, I'm not sure how much it totally means. I'm still not expecting to see a lot of defense being played.
Well, it's flag football. It's 7-on-7. There isn't even any linemen, but it should be exciting. You got the Mannings coaching, and really cool. Kirk, easy for me to say. Herb Street and Pat McAfee are calling the whole event.
Oh, fun. Yeah, that would be good.
They asked Herb Street to do it, and he said the only way I'll do it is with McAfee.
Yeah, McAfee's. It's only a matter of time before he's doing more.
I want to know what.
Right?
Wait, sorry. I want to know what falls into the OTH skill challenge. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, can I play from where I am? Can I just film separately and like send it in, or does it have to be?
OTH skill challenge is going to be way more fun. It's going to be like who can rap the best bar, smoke the biggest joint, slam the 40.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a Yankee and the Brit skills challenge where it's just me and you attempting the actual skills challenges that they do.
I actually set you and I up for something that I didn't even talk to you about.
Great.
So
Great.
You know how Montana and Manoli do the Well Beyond the Arc?
Yeah.
Montana also does another show called the Connor and Heffron Show, which is like all sports with his buddy. Okay. Manoli one time is going to host it if we can ever set it up, and Yankee and the Brit against Connor and Heffron Show sports trivia.
Oh shit! Right, okay. I better start bumping up. Better have some European sports questions in there. Just saying. Obviously, that might give us a little unfair advantage, but you know,
football, baseball, recreation, and rapping. That's the.
That'll do it.
I'm bowing out of the last one because if you've ever watched a playlist, I'm not very good at. Nobody wants to hear me sing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever strung together a bar before in my life. I just don't think it really suits my entire demeanor to go into rap. You know?
we need a fucking Brit rap video.
Yeah, I can say there's some great British rap. I mean, grime is amazing.
I mean,
just for me,
the Brit,
me personally.
The Brit.
I'm staying at a former cartel owner's house. In Colombia, which has like a pool outside of it looking over the top, like perfect spot for a rap video. I just don't know whether I've got the bars to live up to the setting.
Maddie the Baddie. You're going to steal Patty's name.
Maddie the Baddie. Lil Brit.
Lil Brit. I like it. Brit. That's it. That's your new name, Lil Brit.
Lil Brit.
Oh, so
all right, should we talk some football? Should we get into our actual area of expertise?
We should talk about this crazy rumor that came from zero high-end sources, but it's still out there, so we might as well talk about it. Lamar not happy about his contract talks and is talking about not signing the franchise tag if they put it on him.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
I'm not. Oh, right. Okay, cool. I'll try. Yeah. I don't think that Lamar Jackson's going to be a Baltimore Raven next year. I don't think it makes sense for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think it makes sense for Lamar Jackson. The way that they've handled his contract stuff and the way that Lamar's handled his contract stuff has not been a great way to do it. I think he's on the market. I think certain teams would be stupid not to go for him.
Does it blow your mind that they're literally talking about it could be up to two, which is bullshit, but it could be up to 2 first round picks for Aaron Rodgers. And they're like, oh, you could get Lamar for a first and something. I'm like, who the fuck is even saying that? Like,
Lamar
I get
Jackson
that they're talking about with Lamar is going to keep it down. But even if you put the transitional franchise tag on him, not the exclusive, but where another team can sign him, you have to give up 2 first-round picks to even sign him.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is at least a 3 first-round pick level of quarterback, isn't he? If you think of what you got for Russell Wilson, he's got to be worth
as much as Deshaun Watson, right? Like,
yeah, like Russell Wilson's trademark. Obviously, that like that just kind of blows everything out of the water. I'm not saying that you're going to get the same trade package. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's had some injuries as well, but talent-wise, Lamar Jackson to the right team is a no-brainer. In which case, you give whatever fucking picks you can. With Lamar, my worry is if your team trades for him, you kind of have to change the way that you play offense. Not in the same way as if you got like a Justin Fields where it's like an out-and-out run guy. Lamar Jackson can throw, even though it's mainly on bootlegs. But if you go to a Detroit where everything's still kind of new and fresh and they're just looking to be good again, like then, well, good for the first time in 40 years, then Lamar Jackson makes loads of sense there. Obviously, the Chicago Bears have already started to do some sort of running game. The Jets would make a lot of sense for Lamar Jackson. Those kind of teams where you don't want him is Dallas, for example, where you've got like a shit ton of weapons and all you need is just somebody to distribute the ball. You don't want to blow it up and just start again. I'm not sure how he would look on the Vikings. I'm not saying that I would turn down Lamar Jackson. I just don't think he's worth like 3 first-round picks to one of those teams. But to
that's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my thing is I don't want to give up what you have to give up to get Lamar because we have so much to fix on the defense.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way that both of our teams' offenses is built is you just need a distributor of the ball.
Well, I truly believe that Aaron Rodgers is ending up with the Jets.
Yeah, I love the. Guys, gonna need to back up. I love the idea that I love Brady to the Jets for so many reasons that outside of the game of football, i.e. the whole rivalry with Belichick, playing in that same division, watching Tom in New York. How cool would it be if he went to the Jets, which is such a dysfunctional organization, and won a Super Bowl? But footballing, it does make sense. They have a great run game. They have a good offensive line, a decent defense. But from a footballing perspective, it's got to be Brady to Vegas, right? And Rodgers to the Jets, just because of where the coaches are. That makes so much more sense. Now, for Brady to go to Vegas, I do think that you need a better offensive line.
You guys can't see that. That's Brady to the Vikings is the headline.
Yeah, I don't think so. I doubt Brady retires as well.
Well, according to these 2 articles, Brady's people are the ones who reached out to the Vikings, not the other way around.
That'd be crazy. That would
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I literally don't know how I feel about it.
Crazy out of left field, though, for Brady to come to the Vikings. Like, it just seemed to have come out of nowhere.
Would it? So when Brady's at his best, he's got a good tight end, TJ Hawkinson. Mm-hmm. He's got a receiving running back, which is all 3 of the Vikings running backs at this point. And he's got a couple weapons on the outside, which you already have, JJ and KJ Osborne. So if you're Brady, is it really that crazy?
Yeah, he's also never won without a top tier defense. As well, like in the years where he didn't have those weapons and things like that. His defense, I
might be wrong, but what Super Bowl champ won with a below 5?
100%. 100%. But I think I agree with you. For those of you who are watching for the first time, Jay got called out by Sam Monson of PFF when he said that when Jay called Sam Monson out for calling TJ Hawkinson a push.
Yeah, that's the first time anybody at PFF ever clapped back at me.
Strange thing to clap back on, because then he went on to the podcast and said what a great trade it was the next day.
And then PFF redid their trade and the Vikings won. But then that can always change. So like let's say the Lions take that second round pick and they draft the next fucking top quarterback. Well, then they win, right?
Yeah. So what I like about PFF is they've been saying this thing. It's make strong picks, like make strong takes, but make them weekly. Like not like weekly and change them every week, like someone like Skip Bayless would do, but weekly, like you come off it. Like you make a strong pick, and if you realize you're wrong, you come off it straight away. I feel like that's what we do. I feel like we're quite good at admitting our mistakes as well.
It's called being married for me. That's how I can admit my mistake.
Yeah, it's called, I don't know, being polite and British to me.
Being Lil Brit.
Being Lil Brit. Yeah, I mean, Brady to the Vikings, I think, would be nothing but a good trade for you guys. This Lamar to the Bucks, like, can we just put this up again? Because that was a lot to go through.
Oh, you got it.
So Aaron Rodgers to Vegas, okay, that makes sense if Brady doesn't go there. Carr to Baltimore makes sense until you said Garoppolo also to Baltimore. But then you said Carr is going to need to back up for Jimmy Garoppolo. Not sure about that, Shug. Lamar to the Bucks would be interesting. Just I don't know whether that's the best fit. And then Brady to the Jets, I think is a great fit in terms of the story. But I would go A-Rod and Brady the other way around. I think Carr ends up being like the Panthers' next quarterback or someone like that. I think I really want Lamar to end. I know you don't want it, but I really want Lamar to end up in Detroit. I think that would be a great place for him to be. Brady to the Jets makes sense, and Garoppolo to Baltimore isn't a bad idea. But I think Carr goes to somewhere like the Washington football team, Carolina, somewhere like that.
So I'm just going to say this quick. I don't care if people hate football and then their comments, but let's stay away from the offensive shit, and I won't have to put you on a timeout.
I didn't even see that.
Well, somebody keeps using the word gay in the worst possible way you could use it.
Dick. Okay.
Like they were telling us football sucks. I'm good with that. Let's just keep that offensive shit out. You can tell us how bad we suck, and you can tell us we're assholes.
Yeah. Carr doesn't get signed. I was being nice. Oh, interesting show. I feel like Derek Carr's definitely worth a job somewhere. All right.
I think Carr will be a starter next year.
Yeah, Carr is 100% a starter next year. Got to be.
And if you're the team who signs him, you're probably just hoping for an average season.
Yeah, you're hoping for an 8-8 season, right? If you're the team that's signing him, or
you're one of those
worse than that.
Coaches trying not to get fired.
Yeah, or you go even worse than that and hope for a better pick. But I mean, if Rodgers leaves Green Bay, like Derek Carr can go there. I know you're of the opinion that you've got to try out Jordan Love, but
no matter what happens, if Rodgers leaves, it's to start Jordan Love. Otherwise, you don't let him leave.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I suppose not.
And this whole thing about Rodgers and 2 first-round picks is crazy to me because there's no way a team's going to give up a first-round pick per year. Like, this guy's maybe got, 2 years left to play, 3 at the absolute most. There's no way that a team's giving up 2 first-round picks for a guy they're going to have for 2 years. So I think Peter King pulled the 2 picks out of his ass, and that did not come from the Packers.
Yeah, probably not. I'm not. All the Packers have purposely leaked that it's 2 picks to say like we need to get some picks. Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to bring in a guy like Carr to be a backup, if he's willing to do it, I could see that. But I don't think you ever start. And Carr might actually have to start the year as a backup and earn his way in. He might be one of those guys where they're like, come in and compete for this job against Taylor Heineke, or I'm just throwing a name out there, and see if you can beat out Taylor Heineke for the job.
I think the Commanders is the best spot for him, isn't it? It's come in and compete with Taylor.
I think that's where Lamar ends up.
No. You're just trying to get him away from the Lions.
I'm not. I'm dead serious. I literally think that is the perfect spot because they have a tough ass offense or a defense, and then he can put points up. They have a number one receiver. They got tough running backs. Lamar would make that team Baltimore. Do you know what I mean? Like the way Baltimore plays right now, that's how the Commanders would be if you brought in Lamar.
Yeah. No. I think if you bring Carr to Detroit, you may as well just keep Jared Goff.
It depends on how, like, if they're sold on Goff. I think Goff played well, but I don't know what any of that coaching staff is thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, I don't think they stick with Geno for maybe one more year, but like I think they're looking for their next guy too.
Yeah, it's difficult to get rid of Geno, isn't it? If you're doing it. Like, it's difficult to get rid of Geno after this season where you weren't expecting anything. Like, but also, if you're doing your due diligence, there are better guys out there than Geno Smith to fit the Seattle Seahawks. Tom Brady to Seattle.
Yeah. Carr to the USFL. There you go. He don't even get the XFL. He gets the USFL.
Yeah, USFL.
All right, Maddie. Well, let me ask you. So on this, let's talk this first game, and then we'll talk some other stuff, and then we'll hit the second game. But, I lost where I had the point spread pulled up. I probably should have had that all set up before. What is your thoughts on the 49ers or the I can't even, you got me the Seahawks ahead. The 49ers Eagles game.
Eagles. Yeah, I think this is an interesting matchup.
Eagles are 2.5 point favorites.
Yeah, I think this is definitely an interesting matchup, and that 2.5 point favorite is coming from Brock Purdy. I think what's interesting about this matchup is we can say exactly the same thing about the Eagles that we said about Dallas last week, and how they're a decent matchup for the 49ers, and it'll depend on what pressure they can get on Brock Purdy. So the Cowboys and the Eagles were the two top teams in the league, pretty even on creating pressure on the quarterback, but the Eagles got way more sacks, and that's because they're actually able to cover for a decent amount of time. So the Cowboys secondary is nowhere near as good as the Eagles secondary. That's where our defense kind of falls a bit short on getting those sacks. But they were very even on pressures, and the Eagles got crazy amounts of sacks this year. And I think if they can get to Brock Purdy, they can take away his first read and create the pressure, then I'll be interested to see how he shapes up from that. Because Brock Purdy has played really, really well, but his toughest test in terms of a defense came against Dallas, and they only scored how many points did they score in the end? 19?
Yeah, and Purdy scored, and Purdy didn't even have a touchdown, right?
Yeah, they scored 19 points, mostly field goals. And it came from that. And the Eagles' defense is another step up from there. And they play in a very similar way to the Cowboys, just with better coverage on the back end. So if they're able to take away that first read and get pressure on Brock Purdy, then they won't be able to move the ball, which actually doesn't turn out to be that big of a problem for Brock Purdy last week, because the 49ers defense is the number one in the league, and they have the best defensive line. However, they're now going up against the best offensive line and a quarterback who can not only move, but is considered a mobile and running quarterback. Dak Prescott can move. Like, Dak Prescott is athletic enough to, if he sees man coverage, to take off and get the yards. But Jalen Hurts is made into his DNA. Also, Jalen Hurts has been playing at a much better click than Dak this year. Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation. It's going to be interesting. And the way to stop that defensive line from teeing off on you is being mobile and also having the best offensive line in the league. And they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I'm taking the Eagles to cover the 2.5.
I agree with the Eagles covering the 2.5. I would have taken. I think the Eagles win by double digits, but I will be cheering for the 49ers. So I hope I'm wrong. Vegas is saying right now on a neutral field that the 49ers would be a 0.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I think me and you have been like not so on the bandwagon of the 49ers hype all year.
I just think you can throw on them if you get time.
Yeah, their defense. So their defense is incredibly good because they have that defensive line, and those linebackers just completely take away your run game.
Fred Warren is amazing.
Yeah, like those linebackers, they take away your run game and they fuck you in the pass game a little bit as well. So there's not really much that they can. There's not really much that they can't stop just in that front, like 7 people. So the secondary isn't as questionable, but against this Eagles offensive line and a mobile quarterback who can get out the pocket and throw on the run with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, let's see how this secondary stands up. Let's see how it stands up.
Like, I got no doubt that Darius Slay is going to do his thing. I got no doubt. It's do the other corner step up for Philly, but I think they like the 49ers, they get a lot of pressure real fast. So, and Shanahan's a great coach, but Sirianni's starting to show that he's a really good fucking coach too. I just feel like the Eagles all around are like the team this year that we've all been like, damn.
Yeah, definitely. So where's the 49ers path to win? How do the 49ers win this game?
Clock, you got to control the ball, eat the clock, and you have to get touchdowns instead of field goals.
Yeah, and their run game is incredible, mainly through the coaching as well. Their offensive line is pretty middle of the pack, but they're amazing in the run game, and that's because they out-gap people. Like,
they move so much too, and they put little wrinkles, and their run blocking schemes are just as complicated as some teams' whole offensive schemes.
Yeah, 100%. And they have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, which always helps.
Debo and
yeah, exactly. They have Debo after the catch. They have Brendan Ayuk, who's probably one of the better route runners in the NFL. Like, I think if we were both being truthful, like, these have been the best 2 teams in the NFC. Like, not through the whole year for the 49ers. The Eagles have definitely been the best team in the NFC this year. And the 49ers at the back end of the stretch are the best. Are one of the best teams in the NFC.
Aren't they undefeated in the last 10 or 11 games?
Last 9. Yeah, last 9.
Since and that's not including the playoffs, though,
no,
right?
That includes the playoffs, yeah. Last 9 including the playoffs. So Brock Purdy is still undefeated in the NFL. And he's in the NFC Championship game right now. Crazy. Yeah, they're the 2 best. They're the 2 best teams in the NFC in terms of roster depth. Coaching for the 49ers especially is like their biggest win. You know, it's pretty incredible. How they are situationally as well is great. But that run game can stop the Eagles. Like the Eagles pass rush can be stopped. The only issue is the Eagles run defense contains 2 of the biggest fuckers I have ever seen in the middle of a defensive line as well. So they're going to have to move some serious muscle to get that run game going. Yeah, and it's interesting because so you look at Brock Purdy, and I know everybody's going to go, Shanahan's a great coach, which he is. Mm-hmm. Brian Greasy's first year as a quarterbacks coach, and he seems to be doing a lot with Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know if that's Brock Purdy or if that's Brian Greasy or both together, because Greasy was a great talent who never played well in games. Like, you know what I mean? Never played up to his potential. Yeah. But I wonder if Brian Greasy has something to do with that as the quarterbacks coach more than like they're getting credit for or not. That's one of those things. He hasn't coached long enough, so I don't know. Yeah, Brock Purdy feels to me like an available Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, which is that's a great pick for Mr. Irrelevant. Like, to get a guy that late on and to put into that 49ers offense, an available Brock Purdy an available Jimmy Garoppolo is probably one of the best fits that you can get in that team. I know they wanted to see what they could do with a mobile guy like Trey Lance, but like, come on, like they're firing. So go look at Brady's first year and then go look at Purdy. And Brady and Purdy pretty much have the same trajectory
of how they play the game their first year. So who knows?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't think Purdy's going to be Tom Brady. I think a lot
They
of it
didn't
is
think
system.
Brady was going to be Brady.
Yeah, that's true. I do think a lot of it is system, and I feel a lot of it is like him fitting into this great coaching spot he's got with an amazing roster as well. But you've got to be the guy to execute that system. So he's doing a great job.
It does seem a lot very. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go.
I was just saying it seems very eerily similar to Tom Brady's path. 199, yeah. Mr. Irrelevant, coming in for a team that already had a set starter. You take over. Jimmy G looks like he could have played, but they're not going to bring him back to be the starter, where Bledsoe could have came back. If Brock Purdy could win that Super Bowl, like, his whole trajectory will be looking like Brady's first year starting. I'm not saying he'll be Tom Brady, but if you look back through history, Brady was on a great team. All he had to do was manage the game, not make mistakes, get third downs. That's pretty much what they're asking Brock Purdy to do.
Yeah, since Brock Purdy came into the league, they scored 35 points against the Buccaneers, 21 against the Seahawks. The Seahawks have a decent defense, and that's a divisional game. 37 points, 37 points, 38 points, 41 points, and then 19 against the Cowboys. But the Cowboys are the best defense that they played in there. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
All right. Well, if that happens, then Brock Purdy's the greatest quarterback in NFL history. And
put some money on it. Put some money on it, Shug.
$1.
Yeah, stick it. Yeah, fuck. Imagine the returns on $1 on that.
Shit, yeah, we could do some parlay bet 9 years out, like $1 for that.
Yeah. It depends it depends if the ownership want him to go back to Trey Lance, so they don't look like fucking idiots for trading up all that way. But don't compile mistakes with mistakes. Just putting that out there.
All right, Maddie, before we move on, I'm going to force feed everybody some scenes from my documentary.
All right.
Coming up.
Now you know why we're here. So if you have any doubts or reservations, now is the time to say so. No one will think any less of you. Because once you enter this family, there's no getting out.
Hey, what's this fucking thing Sopranos? What the fuck it is? You never watched? That's supposed to be up.
These are real FBI recordings of 4 men talking about a mob TV show that they love. These men belong to a real crime family known as the DeCalicante family. In the TV show The Sopranos, Tony Soprano is the head of a fictional mob family. The Sopranos are violent, brutal, and unforgiving. But there was a real New Jersey crime family before The Sopranos.
Yeah, it was cool.
The New York Mafia families have never looked at the DeCalicantes as anything more than a glorified crew.
If you listen to Bruce Springsteen, he'll tell you everything you need to know about New Jersey. New Jersey is the place you want to get out of, and you aspire to come to New York. It's the place next to power. It's the place next to money. It's the place next to celebrity.
If you asked anybody who was in the 5 families in New York, I don't think they'd want to be a member of the Jersey mob. I actually know of some cases where, guys couldn't get made in New York and had to, as a last resort, take Jersey.
Tony Soprano is always thinking about the good old days, when he thought that mafiosi were more Spartan, they were more loyal, they obeyed the oaths of Omerta, of how to conduct themselves as men of honor.
I'll burn in hell.
May I burn in hell.
I betray my friends.
In real life, they know that they're being watched, getting their pictures taken. They gotta watch that their phones aren't tapped. They gotta watch that the club that they hang in it isn't bugged. They gotta be afraid now if the guy they're talking to is turn a wire on them.
They're absolutely paranoid, but you have to be.
There is no way they're as powerful today as they was, say, 30, 40, 20 years ago. Today, they're lucky they can get a reservation at a restaurant, really, literally.
right. Well, we had Suge for a second, and then he disappeared, so not sure where he went yet. But here is a good comment. Oh, I see he's coming back. It's a good point.
Yeah, but it's not right. The 72 Dolphins.
He just put that on, or you put that.
I just did that. Earl Morrell, I think, was the quarterback for the 72 Dolphins.
He'd be the first undefeated rookie quarterback.
All right, he'd be the first rookie quarterback.
All right. Well, the man who I wonder who he thinks is going to win with his screen there, the Bengals. So, Suge, you're going for the Bengals, huh?
Yeah, so I got the Bengals and the Niners, as you see.
Oh, it is split. I did. Okay, I did see that now.
Yeah,
I got
just saw the Bengals.
So. Should we talk Chiefs Bengals?
Say that again.
Yeah, like, Suge, what's your theory on the Chiefs Bengals? How do you think the Bengals win this game?
I think the Bengals are just. I mean, they're kind of evenly matched teams, and for me, a lot of the things Mahomes does is talent, but it's also luck. You know, like throwing the ball across the field or like these jump passes, stuff like that. There's a percentage of luck involved with that. So I think when you're playing a team that's of the same caliber as you and the deeper you go into the playoffs, the longer the season is going on, that luck's got to, so that's what I kind of think.
Yeah, I mean, with Mahomes, when does it come? He's done it so many times that it's not luck. Like he's done it all of his career so far. So I'm not sure about that. There is a good point though. I think I'm picking the Bengals in this game as well, outright. So the Bengals are the Bengals have caused the Bengals have caused problems for the Chiefs in they've beat them 4 games in a row now. They're calling it Burrowhead on the sidelines, which I think fucking stupid idea. There's no need to pump up your opposition more than you already have. But you have the Bengals that cause them problems, and those games that they've won, those 4 games in a row, have often come down to a few plays. And with Mahomes' ankle injury, that takes away a few plays that he's able to commit, like those crazy escapability plays where he rolls out, sidearms it. The little jump passes, the flick passes, like that ankle sprain is gonna.
Did you see him in practice on Wednesday, spinning around, running away? Like
I think it'll be interesting.
Portal on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how injured he is, but I refuse to believe that his limitation isn't completely done from a high ankle sprain.
Well, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to medical stuff, but there was a dude on Pat McAfee this week who was a orthopedic whatever, and he said the best thing that happened to Mahomes is this is the second time he's done this, because once the muscles were stretched the first time, they're already stretched, so the injury's not as bad. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a medical degree, but for me, I think the Chiefs win this game, and I don't even care about the -2.5.
Yeah, like the Chiefs should win this game. They're a more talented team than the Bengals, but big game Joe, Zach Taylor. I don't know.
Zach Taylor.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you really think they're a better team though? Because if you go position by position, so you got Burrow and Mahomes. Wide receivers you would have to give to the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
And then tight ends Chiefs.
Running
back wise, you have Mixon and Pacheco. And I think I would take Mixon over Pacheco at this point.
I think I'd take Pacheco. That guy runs like a steamroller.
I would take Mixon in any other offense. I just think Pacheco and McKinnon fit good with Mahomes because they're check down out of the backfield guys. Yeah. But I would not be shocked if the Bengals won this game. And
I like Pacheco though. Like I do like Pacheco. I think he's going to be a player. So, yeah.
Offensive line has to be the Chiefs.
Wow, the Bengals have been playing some good fucking offensive line.
They've been playing better, But like from a fucking standpoint of Joe Burrow is still the most sacked quarterback in 2 years of his career.
So who are you giving the defense to?
The Bengals defense is the Bengals defense is sneaky good, but the defensive line of the Chiefs is better. The linebackers of the Chiefs are better, and the secondary of the Bengals is better.
Well,
so it depends.
I got no horse in the race, and I don't hate either team. Like I said, I'm picking the Eagles, but I'm cheering against them. That's, one thing. This game, I don't really care. But for me, it boiled down to, and this is literally what it boiled down to, because Suge did a great thing. We went through all of them. Now, to me, the most important thing, who's better, Taylor or Andy Reid?
That's exactly what I was about to move on to.
For me is why I picked the Chiefs. So I'm the only one on the screen who picked the Chiefs, but that's why.
Yeah.
That's true.
Andy Reid is a way better coach. Like Andy Reid is an incredible coach. I just think in this situation, I think it's really important to not. I never understood this about American football. Like not growing up with it, I have grown up with it, but not in the same environment that you guys have. The whole like Brady versus Manning, Mahomes versus Burrow. They're never on the pitch at the same time. So it's not them versus that. Like it's Mahomes versus. I know. I'm being facetious, but it's Mahomes versus the Bengals defensive coordinator, and the Bengals defensive coordinator has Mahomes' number when he's fully healthy. Like he has him when he's healthy, and he's not currently. Like whether the ankle sprain isn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, he's still not fully healthy.
This game could literally be one of those games that the last quarterback with the ball wins the game.
Yeah, which means that it's probably going to end 19-16 because you've said that now.
I think Mahomes is better than Burrow, but not by much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
the magical plays that are different, but from the pocket, nobody maneuvers that pocket better. Some as well, but nobody maneuvers it better than Joey right now.
Yeah, 100%. I love Joe Burrow. And his connection with Jamar Chase. Like I remember those podcasts where we were fucking just slating the Bengals for taking Jamar Chase and saying like, yes, if you're going to pick a wide receiver, best wide receiver to pick, definitely easiest, great call on the right wide receiver. But what they needed desperately was an offensive lineman, and there was like Rashawn Slater was still on the board. Well, yeah. It's still not the worst process to have taken an offensive lineman.
No, but Jamar Chase is the beast.
Yeah.
And right now, and this is just my opinion, people could argue he is the third best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase makes that offensive line look better because he beats his man so quickly. He runs his route. If you watch his route happens so fast that he's open so quickly that the offensive line is not as required as it is when Jamar Chase isn't on the field.
And I really believe that, because for me to put Stephon Diggs above anybody means that I truly believe it, because, I'm petty and I got some salty issues towards Stephon Diggs. But I think it's JJ, Stephon Diggs, and Jamar Chase are the best three receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just switch them first two around, you're right.
And I'd struggle to disagree with that. AJ Brown, maybe.
But there's top fives and argue. But I'm just saying this year, look at it. Like JJ meant more to his team than anybody. Stephon in a close second meant more to his team, and then Chase in a close third. And then the numbers stack up. And I don't care if people want to switch around the order, but I don't think there's many people that argue they're the best three receivers in the NFL.
Well, AJ Brown did mean a lot to his team too.
Brown,
Didn't he have like multiple games with 3 touchdowns? Or
he does, but the Eagles are so fucking stacked.
Yeah, I don't know. I think AJ Brown does bring like a different dynamic to the Eagles, though, because he can go up.
And the Bengals have 2 number ones.
Yeah. But
little Brit froze up on us.
God damn it! The biggest thing about AJ Brown is the pressure he takes off Smith on the other side, and he allows Jalen Hurts to throw more 50-50 balls that he wouldn't be throwing up to Devontae Smith. A tiny little frame, so he takes a lot of the pressure off the other side. So AJ Brown makes a difference to his team in a different way to those those three. But I do think that AJ Brown's in that conversation. D Hop, but he hasn't been fit. He was suspended for the first part of the season.
Well, yeah, you got Devontae Adams, but he didn't get the year he wanted with Carr.
The ball to him, right? Yeah, I think it was just. I think we should. Do you know what? Next show we need to break down best wide receivers in the league. Just go.
Well, unless you get 2,000 yards, you can't even talk to my boy JJ. So
yeah, yeah.
It just that dude's about to get paid too. JJ's about to be the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. And I love Kawasi's comments when they asked him about it. And they were like, "Are you worried about it?" He goes, "You just pay a guy like that."
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He said that's one of those good problems. He said it differently, but that's one of those good problems. Like, you just pay a guy like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you just pay a guy like that probably isn't the best thing to go to the negotiating table.
I'm pretty sure they already have the contract worked out. They just can't announce it till after the season.
Yeah, it's done. Done. Okay, our viewership has gone down drastically since like the game's about to kick off in 3 minutes.
All right, so Shug, you got San Francisco, Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. Maddie, you had
Eagles, Cincinnati in the Super Bowl.
All right, and then I got Eagles, Chiefs. Which I absolutely hate to say it, the Eagles winning another fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate you.
Hey, our boy L World's still here. That's all I gotta say. Ride with us to the end. Oh. Hey, Shug, it was a great week of shows on Overtime Hustling this week too.
Oh yeah. We had some great content this week. So anybody who's watching, check them out. Winging It was fun on Wednesday. The playlist was great on Wednesday, and then Turf Tales was pretty fun Friday too. So,
and if you're not sick of seeing my face, Freezus just asked me to be on Winging It next Wednesday, so tune in for that because Freezus is going to be on the playlist that afternoon with Payne Gusto and I.
Yep. And then Friday, Maddie's hosting Turf Tales with Freezus.
I don't know about hosting.
I think Maddie should host with Freezus once. That'd be great. And then we got to put him in as the little Brit.
Little Brit. Shows up as Little Brit. That's what I'll change my name to next time.
We'll premiere your music video that week too.
my music video in the Cartel House in Columbia.
Yeah, called Bloody Hell. That's Maddie's new music video. Bloody Hell.
Oh, that's
by
a good
Little
one.
Brit.
That's a good one.
Yep.
And then he's going to follow it up with a single called Fucking Wankers. And then Tossers Part 2. That's all I got for British slang. I'm done.
I've been really enjoying watching Colombians try to understand anything that I say in English. It's been because they all learn American. Like in Europe, it's fine. They all learn British English. In South America, it's American English, and I'm convinced it's a different language.
It is a lot different. Like I'll tell you, like you and I, there's a lot of times where I've had to ask you to tell me what that fucking means.
Yeah. It's when
I watch a lot of British shit. I watch a lot of British movies and TV shows.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's because I'm from the north. It's because I'm from the north of England. We have a totally different way of speaking to people from the south.
What is Paddy the Baddy? Is that Cockney? Is that what they?
Scouse. Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I don't understand half the fucking things he says.
Sometimes he confuses the shit out of me, and he'll be while doing interviews, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. You should wait to hear from someone from Glasgow. Go watch Trainspotters again. They're from Edinburgh. That's kind of close.
All right. Well, we'll get out of here since the ball's about to kick off. Thanks again, Shug. We'll see you for the Super Bowl if you have time. And I can't believe the season's almost over.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. One World, One Love. Deuces.
Cheerio.